Welcome to Malcolm and We, heard exclusively on malcolmpresents.com, a streaming platform heard round the world and beyond. And beyond could be any place. Yeah, I figure we have this. I have no idea how, this works, truthfully. But the streaming, you don't have to have anything. It comes in. So streaming just goes out and comes in, and so our signal might be going someplace out in the stratosphere.
Well, it may even go to other beyond that, beyond our solar system, because the vibrations actually don't stop.
Mm.
What's going to stop them in
Yeah,
space?
and well, but the thing that we can get to speaking of philosophy, is there an end? Is there an end to anything? Is there an end to the sky? How deep does it go?
Well, the thing is that we have the science about limits of, let's say, stratospheres so high, and and all the different spheres. And then there's this cosmos that we have that we know of, and then they're finding new, in a way, almost cosmoses, and so on. So, is there an end? Well,
Well, maybe I should introduce our speaker.
Right, I was going to say that. Why don't you introduce the show? I'm Malcolm Berman. This is my co-host, Ayana Larson. Yana, introduce our guest who's appeared
Well, I
today.
would love to. Kurt Krueger is our guest today, and he is a pragmatic futurist, a transformative leader, and a best-selling author committed to promoting peace and peak performance across education, business, and global initiatives. With over 45 years of experience, he has collaborated with schools, universities, corporations, and communities worldwide to integrate wisdom, innovation, and practical strategies that inspire meaningful change. As the founder of the Peace Lab and the Peacemakers Circles Network, Kurt fosters both personal and collective growth through interactive engagement, resilience building, and action oriented leadership. Known for his authentic and heart centered approach, he connects diverse communities and empowers individuals and organizations to cultivate peace, resilience, and success. A dynamic speaker and educator, Kurt's unique blend of insight, playfulness, and impactful leadership make his work both profound and memorable. And I think we already got a taste of that, Kurt.
And this is part two.
So,
And Kurt,
Kurt, you said you'd like
what
to
do you
talk
say after
about
that?
peace.
What do you say after that brilliant introduction?
oh my goodness, I hope I meet all the expectations, that's for sure. One of the nice things is I'd like to stop us right now and bring us into what's called cohesion. And this is a common term in a lot of gatherings together today because we started to model nature much more and get to be able to be feeling better when we do that. One of our programs for Humanity Rising that we produced is on biomimicry. And it showed that when we model ourselves after nature, we are much more efficient and actually learn better. Greg Braden started to prove this in a way with his new book called Pure Human. And he mentions about the heart brain cohesion and how to bring it into cohesion, how to get them connected. So we are open to all of our being and even beyond by using gratitude and other things. We in the Peacemaker circles have something called the Peacemaker Miracle practice. And it's a real simple method that you do three times a day. Takes you only a few minutes. You can do it more, of course. That's why it's called Peace 3 by 3 plus. The plus is the key
Hmm.
because when we add it a little bit more, we do a little bit more. It's like doing more push ups. Speaking of push ups, I did a program with Dr. Gabriel Cousins on peak performance practices for a thriving society. And in it, we were talking about what we had done in our sports careers and in his nutrition business and in his peacemaking and so on and so forth. He was only at 80 years old at the time. That was 4 years ago. He was only doing 1,000 push-ups every other day,
1,000 push-ups?
every other day. And now he's 84. He only does 1,600 push-ups every other day. Now, is he an extremist? Of course. It's like the only picture in Winning Ways for Living, this series of books that was, two of them were bestsellers, uh, shows a man lifting with one arm off a standard over 7,000 pounds. He did it 3 times, 3 out of 5 times after midnight. He was over 60 years old when he did it. His name is Sri Chinmoy. You can check it up on your Wikipedia or whatever to prove what I'm talking about and see a picture of it. Or you can get my book and see that and see all the different ways that we can become all that we can be without having to join the army. Well, let's now bring ourselves into cohesion. We've had this intellectual sort of understanding and get to hear stuff. Let's get to the meat of it. So right now, I'm going to stand up and show you the thymus thumb.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to stand up to do it, but you take one hand at the base of your throat and then put your finger right underneath that. And right there, 2 inches underneath your breastbone, is your thymus gland. Now, did you hear that? It's a firm thump.
Boop.
No wusses here today. We thump the thymus 3 firm times. What does it do? It activates our endocrine system. Our endocrine system is this one of the systems of our physical body that modulates all your production of your endorphins and all the good things that get the whole body to be in sync. It's your like synchronicity gland. So in thumping that, it also has a way, let's say somebody cuts you off on the freeway. You're naturally going to have a flight response. Usually it's showing somebody's finger and
Mhm.
something may be unkind, which is the wrong thing you want to do. The best thing to do is what my grandfather used to do. He was a carpenter. If he hit his thumb, he said, "Bless it." He said it loudly, of course, because it didn't feel so good, but he blessed it. Why? If you damn it like so many people do these days, it only makes it feel worse. He also then put pressure on it right away because he didn't want an overproduction of blood coming there to make a big black and blue mark. Smart old man. He knew what his body was about. When we thump the thymus, it stops the overproduction of adrenaline, which can be toxic to the body. So the body has to use a lot of energy to get it out if you can't fight or flee. If you're just sitting in the car, upset. So we stop it. 3 firm taps. You can do more, of course, because you could be Tarzan.
Yeah, it sounds it reminds me of when I'm at in temple. There's part of the Jewish prayer they pound there.
And speaking of the Jewish practice, there's something called davening, and you know
Yeah.
that as a Jewish person in front of the Wailing Wall. And we use a practice similar to that in doing the peacemaker meditation when people can do it that way. Some people can't move their body, so we just said, if you can move your hand like this, bring your hand to your heart. As you breathe in, you're saying peace in everything and touching your heart and letting your heart touch your fingers. And then as you're breathing out, you're letting everything as peace. So you say peace in everything, everything is peace. peace in everything. Everything is peace. When you bend backwards, we're breathing in peace in everything. Everything as peace. Peace in everything. Everything as peace. Simple. We do that three times a day. When we add gratitude to it, that's a key, because that's something that Greg Braden brought out in his master class for his incredible book called The Pure Human. And Pure Human proved that the human body has the full capability of being the most outstanding intelligence in the world, in the cosmos. And why do I say that? Because AI, which knows everything we've put into it, which we can use all the quote knowledge, AI is limited to how many dimensions? What about the human body? And when we do this brain, mind, body, heart cohesion, this movement with the heart and brain cohesion, we then bring into full alignment the telomeres in every single cell in our body. Telomeres are like little cosmic antennas. They're little antennas that come out from every single cell in your body. Now imagine there are trillions of cells in your body. There's no artificial intelligence that can compare. And those little cells, those telomeres, they're like cosmic tuning forks. We tune in to all the insights and inspiration and enthusiasm that is available in the cosmos. I have an ebook that I give out to people that connect with us and join the Peacemakers circles, and it's called Miracle Making. And it's because this body and many other people's bodies have created miracles according to what science would say is a miracle. I'll give you one example. I'm playing volleyball down in South Africa with some natives in South Africa. This guy jumps up and spikes the ball so beautifully, but he comes down wrong. You hear a pop. Mm-hmm. He blows his knee out. He landed wrong. So I dragged him off the court like anybody would in a beach volleyball game so that everybody else can play. And I, because of my background in sports psychology, because I founded the Institute of Sports Psychology in 1982 and in India of all places. And I said, do you mind if I see if I can help you? And he says, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to put my hands on your knee and guide you through a visualization. You're going to listen to me and imagine all the things that I say. You're breathing in calmly and deeply. And you're breathing out all these sort of damaged cells. You're breathing in deeply so it fills the blood with oxygen. And the brain, the body knows what it's supposed to do. It sends all the good oxygen to the place that's damaged, that needs it the most. And I guide him through for about 45 minutes, just that. But for the first time in my life, I added something. This is the key. I said, thank you, Creator, for having healed him.
Wasn't he in pain during all of this time?
Was in pain, but because of focusing on the breathing, because of focusing on calming the breath, it has a incredible synchronicity with the rest of the body. When we calm the breathing It calms the heart rate. When the heart rate calms down, the brain waves calm down, and vice versa. That's why we give them usually, that's why meditation has a mantra like peace in everything and everything is peace. You use that mental focus while we're doing the breathing that is calm and clear. And we get to feel this. Like you could be doing this practice right now as we're sitting here, as I'm talking, and you would benefit more from the talk. Why? Because the brain is calmed down, your ears hear better because of less chatter
Less
of trying
clutter.
to dec- uh, decipher what he's saying, and you actually absorb it, and then you can actually get an experience. Most people sit for hours at a time on their Zoom calls. They hardly move. I will get up and I will stand behind my chair and do alternate knee to elbows. As I'm breathing out, I touch my knee to my elbow. As I'm breathing in, I stand up. And then as I breathe out, I'm bending the opposite elbow to the other knee. And when we do this, it's a cross crawl movement. That allows, again, the synchronicity of your neocortex, your new brain, the left and right hemispheres. What does that do? It opens the intuitive right brain to the quote, memorable, the memory kind of aspect of your brain, the logical aspect of it, and they can have some better communication. The synapses occur just by cross crawl movement. That's why swimmers usually have the highest grade point average in of all sports people. And of course, tennis players, because they had such an upbringing to be able to allow them to pay for the coaching and all that when they're going up to that level, so to speak.
What about people who are disabled or not able to move all their body parts?
You don't have to. If you can only move this, peace in everything, everything is peace. If you can't move that, I have my friend who just went off just now. He's 85 himself. I'm only 80. He goes off to help a friend's son who was had an accident playing football. He was an elite football player at a big high school, but he messed his spine up and he can't move and all kinds of things. He's getting him to talk again by doing a slow process. And I wanted him to actually tune into a program that's been on for the last few days about indigenous wisdom. Because the indigenous wisdom, it's like people who have autism are oftentimes incredible geniuses in one thing in life. And it's the gift that God gives us, or spirit gives us, or creation, or
Yeah.
however you. I'm not attached to any of that. We can be the best gift to humanity when we give from our heart, when we come from our heart. I'll give you an example. This is the big sign for peace. It's stop, pause. Also, I'm unarmed. I have no weapon in my hand. Peace. Peace. That's what I'm about. I have a symbol of an open heart. I'm giving the love forward. What
That
if
is a neat logo design. Did you come up with that?
we did? Mark Santos and I came up with it. And Mark Santos is the person who started Noble Goldman platform. And it's all about getting people to be the best at whatever they choose to do. Some people are into network marketing. They've got a series of trainings for network marketers. They got We have peacemaker circles. We have an intentional change network. We have a number of different programs on there to get people to be way beyond what they thought they could be. I mean, I've had a person, a 13-year-old little girl used to hit a board. You know how you break boards in karate kind of thing? Well, I was teaching at a barrio school here, Van Nuys Middle School. Malcolm knows it.
Yeah.
It has the biggest Latino gang in the whole San Fernando Valley. We had the best PE program in the whole state because of our character development program. We taught social skills, how to be able to greet people, how to listen. Who has ever been taught how to listen in
Yeah.
school?
Well, that's an important thing in anything. Learn to listen because most people, uh, they listen until they could speak. They're not, re- they really don't want to listen. They want to tell someone how they feel, but they don't listen to what you do. But aside from your words, I'm very hypnotic by your hand motions. You're very,
And his
uh,
voice.
yeah, well, the voice and the hands are very, it's sort of like, almost like, not the, but the way you express it. Are you a good dancer by any chance?
My wife wouldn't say that, but
Yeah, but your hand can be very hypnotic, the way you do it and as you talk.
my dancing, I'm a free form dancer. I let this body move to the music, and it moves in all ways. My hands may go up like this or out and about, and I turn here and I'll lift the leg up there and whatever it might be. However the music, turns me on, so to speak. My wife and this best friend who actually lives with us, this 85-year-old man, they're both into, doing the form dancing.
They snap, say,
You know, I'm not, I danced for Burbank Civic Light Opera at one time, and I did the Russian kick dance, and I learned that at that time. But the choreographers were at our high school for the carousel. I danced for the high school play, a musical. But I'm really not what some people would call a dancer.
but you have the rhythm, you feel it. That's the important thing.
Yeah. And the
But
beautiful thing about life is we start to feel our own rhythm. And when we tune into ourself, our expression, it's the key. The biggest key for us, if I were to say anything about anything right now, it'd be what is it that is uh, your vision of peace? Do you have a vision of peace written down?
me personal.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, years and years ago, I think we discussed it. I was into Buddhism, and I meditate. I do transcendental meditation. I went to, this is going back in the 70s. I went with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi.
Yeah, that's him. And we met him in Sellersburg. He invited Muktananda to come to Sellersburg. I was touring with Muktananda.
Hmm.
He asked him to be able to. Anyway, I can get
But
into
anyway,
all.
we used to go and I sit down and meditate, and you go from the chi, which I think is the little below the waist, which has all the energy, and let the energy fill the body.
Uh-huh.
And you think of nothing because when you meditate, you have a mantra, but the mantra is supposed to like disappear, and your mind is supposed to be empty. Which the hardest thing is your mind being empty of thought. And then when you think of something which you can't help, you don't say, "Oh my God, I'm thinking of this." You just go back to your mantra.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing with when anybody uh, wants to. You can just do the pause that refreshes. It's like the space between your breath. I'll show you a simple method.
Mhm.
This is called roller coaster fingers, and it got its name. It's written up in the book, Winning Ways for Living. But I taught this to teachers. I had a course in teaching teachers peak performance for academics and sports. And this one teacher learned this practice, and she was a kindergarten teacher, and she comes back with the name Roller Coaster Fingers from the kids. She said they love it. And it's this, it's real simple. Breathe in, breathe out. Come on, let's do it. Put your hand facing your, and then you go across, breathing in, breathing out. See, this is a action-oriented class, so to speak. We don't just sit here. We're not observers. We are participators in life. And we participate by doing what? Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. The little pause at the top and at the bottom is where the breath comes from and goes to. That pause that refreshes. And we get to go maybe 2 or 3 times before we've gotten into that calm space. And then you can teach your class because the class is calmed down. Why? The heart rate is calmed down. The brain waves have calmed down.
Now,
Things
as a practical level, do you have classes? Do you teach classes or
we have
give
the
lectures?
Yeah, I do anywhere and everywhere. I've given programs all over the world. I've given one at the United Nations at Oxford Medical School. I've given programs at Notre Dame High School. What's odd is I've only given one program to one basketball group at Alemany High School, which is where I went to high school. Uh, but the big thing I'd love everybody to do is to be able to create their vision for peace. And I'll tell you mine real quickly as a model, because I believe total peace is possible. I'm called to be peace, igniting in others their vision of peace, resulting in uniting us as the force experiencing peace in everything. Everything is peace.
Well, we certainly need you now more than ever. If you're listening,
I have yet to be invited over to Palestine.
well, Palestine or
Or
Ukraine
Russia.
or
Of course, I,
Yeah.
I don't know if I would go to Palestine because they've been attacked so much, like relentlessly, and they're starving and all kinds of things. I would love to go to Israel to be able to bring this to Israel. I have a dear friend, this Gabriel Cousins. He's got a yeshiva in outside of Tel Aviv. He's also a good peacenik like I am. He had a book called what was it? Called there was something about peace, power of peace or something.
I think I'm going to send a copy of the show over to the White House.
We could send it to just about anywhere these
Yeah,
days.
they have to find out what peace is.
Well, that's the thing. I gave a program for the Swedish prison wardens and priests when I was teaching at Stockholm University in the early 1980s. They took the meditation practice into all the prisons because meditation is what I call a cosmic roto-rooter. It's a cosmic drain cleaner. When you're inside prison or inside, you get to be cleaned up. All the past impressions, they say karmas, can be burnt up in meditation. These past impressions and past influences, when they're gone
Hmm.
and you're out of prison or you're out of those impressions, what are we? We're a new person. We're a freer person. And who doesn't want to be free? That's why they came to the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Now, how do people get in contact with you?
SuccessSystemsInternational.net is one way. Uh, Peacemakers Circles, and those are both plural, at Gmail is another way. I have yet to make a website. I can put into the chat an incredible website by a guy named Ray Potter. We met in the early 90s, I believe, when I was giving a program at the Futurist Society, no, Futurist Salon in Santa Monica. And we became friends ever since. He happens to be from India, so we can relate all our background like you with you have a Buddhist and a Hindu kind of a background because of your influence with TM. And TM is a wonderful practice and it does such great research. I love the research
Yeah.
and it's useful in all the things that
Well, what
I've
I would think, I don't, do you have any tapes of, I mean, do you give lectures or do you have like a, what you're talking about? Do you have like a 10, 15 minute something on tape? Because I'd love to put you on a separate channel on Malcolm Presents. If you just did like a 15-minute, not a lecture, but a talk like what you're doing with us and just do it like 15-minute segments, I'd be glad to put you on Malcolm Presents, on a weekly basis, a new 10, 15-minute, I don't know, it's a dissertation, but
Listen to it 15 minutes a day.
just 10, and that I could do it once a week, and we'll put you on Malcolm Presents under your name.
I'd be happy to do that. It is my gift to whoever. See, I believe everybody has been given a gift, and when we find the gift, then we get to give it. And when we give it, it gets to be able to have. It's like the Johnny Appleseed idea.
Mm.
I spread that little simple idea around, not only by doing it myself, by picking up acorns in the Dexter Park and then spreading them where there's no trees. And I also prevent people from cutting down old oak trees in in the local rehabilitation center nearby because they want to expand it. And 100-year-old oak takes
Mm.
generations upon generations to ever come close to being able to come close to affecting life. 100-year-old tree
But
does.
anyway, Kurt, I have to tell you this, our time is up.
Oh no.
My little clock rang. Give us again your where they people can reach you.
Successsystemsinternational.net
Okay.
and also peacemakers circles at Gmail. Those are both plural.
Okay, and the three of us have to get together to see how we could actuate a show that you would put on Malcolm Presents and do like because I find it fascinating.
Well, the nice thing is we get to play together. And when you said have to, I have a ebook called Abracadabra, Empowering Communications. Why? When we use words that empower instead of deplete us of power, like have to, oh, it's like a struggle. When we say I get to, oh, I get to do that. Well, I remember up the street that I had, I get to be able to cut that when I remember better.
And I'm afraid I have a lot of learning to forget.
You get to forget. If you're going to be so good at forgetting, forget to forget.
Right. Anyway, thank you very much. And we'll definitely have you on again. But
Oh,
UI and Yana will talk about that. Okay.
we're gonna send you off with the peace salute. Say,
And thank
we
you again. You've been listening
spread the
to
love out to the world.
Malcolm and We, heard exclusively on malcolmpresents.com. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.
You can tell I'm a Jabberwocky.